Howdy folks, Mark Serbu, gun designer, gun nut. I was almost not going to make a video today. I was like, man, I just don't want to do this. And my earnings on YouTube have been way down. I think because I did really well with that that Tech 9 looking thing, and then they spanked me down. Like, they don't like me making a lot of money. So I made a ton of money that month, and then it's just been going like yeah. Anyway, who cares? This is a Vigneron, which is a French word. It is actually a Belgian machine gun. And most people don't know this, but Vigneron is the French version of the N-word. Now, hopefully I said that with enough accent that the algorithm won't get me, but I don't think they can. This is just something that's sold at Am I even allowed to say? Yeah, it's a parts kit. Apex, my favorite gun parts place. This is not a gun, this is a parts kit. And there are a couple of pitfalls. People are trying to put these back together, and they're making them, some are making them into full auto like I am, and some people are turning them into semi-autos for those who can't do the full auto thing. But I always trying to figure out, you know, here's how it comes. You're missing this whole center section of the receiver. You basically get, you know, that and then this, and you're like, okay, how does that work? And I almost, when I was trying to figure out the length of tube I needed, I didn't realize how this actually went in here. And it's kind of interesting because, as you can see here, and I've got my little camera off to the side, it's got this little cutout, little slot, and it actually goes over this piece here. So you have to slide it up. Wait, I got it backwards. Yeah, first day on the job. Okay, can you see in there? See how that actually goes and slides back? So that's interesting, and it's got a little variability, you know. So this tube, the way this would work is you unscrew the back end, and when you screw the back end on to hold this in place, it actually has a little lip on there that this end cap goes onto and holds in place. So you got a little bit of leeway, but not a ton, for the overall length of your finished receiver tube. So I looked at that and I said, well, I was going to just put it down here, but no, it can slide all the way back. And so there's my length, and did I get enough? And look at that, just barely. So I'm not facing this off at all. I'll probably have to have it forward just a tad. Now, the problem for a lot of people, and me included, is this is a metric spec tube, and those are difficult to come by in the US, and they're not cheap. I mean, I could have gotten a little length of tube like this for like 200 and something bucks. It was like, holy crap. Because normally this is a, you know, if it's 4130 aircraft tubing from Wix Aircraft Supply or something, you know, this is a $6 piece of steel, maybe even less. Luckily, a buddy of mine off Weapons Guild went and turned the OD on a close to standard tube, and this isn't actually 4130, it's a 1020 DOM, but he reamed it. He had a metric reamer, so now it's totally metric spec, and can't really see that, but it's right. And I do need to face this off because it's not square, but that's no big deal. Then of course I've got to cut out to clear all the sear and the little, well, mainly the sear. And another little pitfall that some of you might not notice, you can't just cut a big old cut. Now, if you look at pictures of this on the internet, you'll see it's got a front cutout and a rear cutout, and one of the main reasons is this sear, hopefully you see that, the sear right there, it doesn't just sit up like that. As you can see, it's shiny right here. That actually rests on the bottom of the tube, so you have to have the receiver tube in there. Yeah, sorry about that. And you can't, it can't go any higher than that. So that's interesting. I don't know why they did it. Well, kind of know why they did it. You know, this is plastic. You don't want to necessarily count on the plastic holding up forever and doing everything. I mean, what if you're up against the enemy and he whips out some MEK and throws it on you? The thing just melts. A methyl ethyl ketone, by the way. I don't think they make it anymore. Right? Probably. We used to wash our hands with it. But anyway, you can see this is in semi-auto mode, and it acts just like full auto mode if you don't have the piece of tubing there. If you catch it, if you limit it, then it acts like a semi-auto where it kicks back up after you pull the trigger down. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, not really too pitfall-ish. Interestingly, it's hard to even see, but this has a tube within a tube here. I don't know if you can look in and see the difference. And you can see here, I mean, it's obviously, you know, hot dog down a hallway on this end, and in this end it's snug. And so that's kind of clever that they have another tube, and I can't even tell how it's in there. It's not just pressed, and you can't really see a seam to it, so that's kind of interesting. But anyway, this is just something that came up. You know, as soon as Apex came out with it, I said, hey, there's something I've never really seen before, except I might have watched it when Gun Jesus did a review of it. I don't even remember, but it looked kind of cool. It's got some interesting, it's got an interesting combination of features, because you've got, you know, your usual stampings, and yeah, I suppose that's stamped as well. A tube machine gun, and yet they're also doing plastic molding, which is interesting and, you know, innovative for the time. It's really kind of an ugly kind of plastic, and it also looks like it's made in two halves. It's just kind of crappy. And whose hands this fit? Is this made for a silverback gorilla or something? It's very weird. But it's, you know, it's got the cool, oh, and it's got the buttstock, which also has a bore brush, or what the hell do you call it? I'm always losing my words here when I'm trying to make videos. Like, I'm usually pretty smart most of the time. Not kidding. Yeah, but what do you even call that? I'll put the words in here that I'm forgetting. So, kind of clever. For those of you who actually want to clean your bore, which I do recommend. Got that built in. Magazine looks very MP40-ish, but it's not. It won't fit an MP40, apparently, according to Gun Jesus. So, anyway, this kit was in pretty good shape. This bolt is, it's seen a little wear, but not a lot. A little use. But, you know, looks like a Sten. A lot of stuff looks like a Sten. But it's I'm gonna go ahead and machine this, and it's gonna be fun, because the old days I had to, you know, drill holes and cut out with something crappy and then file it. Now just CNC this biatch. Oh, another interesting thing, you know, double rate spring. Yeah, it's, and Gun Jesus pointed out also that you don't see that very often. So, you know, you got your low rate spring for just normal travel, but if this thing gets a hot round or something and it wants to over travel, then it's got this very stout section right here, and that's pretty cool. That's about all I got for you, folks. Oh, I didn't show the charging handle's somewhere else. It's on my desk somewhere, and it goes down the side there, and that needs a little, there's a piece that's missing from the receiver that got destroyed. There's a little tacked on little piece that retains the back end of that cocking handle, but I'll come up with something for it. Alright folks, well, I hope you enjoyed me phoning in this latest video, because I've been busier than a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest lately, because, you know, between vacations and working, it's just all too much. Alright, well thanks, appreciate you watching as always. Catch you next time. Leave lots of comments, even though I don't know what the hell you're going to comment on. Thanks, have a good one.